have been formed and the person has died without will, and the trustees are not even looking at us today. We are, a law firm representing people, but they are not looking at the heirs now to establish who the heir, etc. So it's very difficult.
Abhijit, what's your advice to private bankers? How should they raise this topic with their clients?
They need to know the technical aspect, which I'm sure they would have known in terms of the legal aspect and the financial aspect, tax aspect, little bit. Obviously, they'll be augmented by a team when they go into execution. But they should know because life is not in a silo. So when I come and talk to you, if I don't know nothing about tax, I would be a little sterile in my because it's quite a multi-dimensional talk. If I'm actually coming and explaining to you why, so they should know a little bit about those things. And they should know when to leave those things, because you cannot be a jack of all, and therefore at that point of time to say that we will have to bring in a lawyer, or we will have to bring in a tax guy, but this generally is an issue. I would say they should be a little less marketing oriented, especially to the Indian promoter. The Indian promoter is very wary of product pushing, and therefore they should really concentrate on value creation as opposed to product pushing, which is important, especially if you are talking to people who are mature enough to have created so much of wealth, and therefore we must trust or rather respect their intelligence, that they will see through this particular aspect. So that is the second part. The third part, as I said, that I think they need to understand and do some homework in terms of why and what of the fact pattern and customize it. The next part is the ease of execution, and what the Indian promoter is scared of, that when he moves from personal wealth to wealth in a trust, if he is going to inherit a lot of bureaucracy in managing the trust, or a lot of red tape, institutional interference, all those things, then they have to work on that part.
Abhijit, what's your opinion on trustee firms? Do you prefer independently owned trust firm over a bank firm?
Yeah, I would think so. There's always a difference. One is institutionalized, so in a sense that they are going to be, perpetual in their existence. They are going to be, I can't say after Lehman in perpetual in existence, but more perpetual than individual consultants. And also they will have the checks and balances. So there is going to be that much more, order to it. Individual trustees, on the other hand, have an advantage of understanding the need of the proposition, and therefore becoming that much more nimble, and at times can serve better. But it's two sides of the coin.
How is the Indian Trust Act different from, say, a Singapore or Hong Kong trust?
I can tell you one thing: the Indian Trust Act is very old, and therefore it's not going to be as vibrant as any of this newer jurisdiction. So it's very robust in terms of its jurisprudence, but very immobile in terms of newer concepts. Duties, some of the duties and liabilities of trustees are a bit more fiduciary in nature, bit more generic in nature. Ability, creation of beneficial interest, which are to unknown set of people gives tax consequences. If there are defined set of people, it's different. And so it's pretty, it's not, a lot of places the concepts are subjective. On the other hand, you can do a lot of things under the Indian Trust Act because it's not prohibited, which might be prohibited elsewhere. So I would think that it's a very enabling act in terms of this practice area, because you can pretty much do a lot of stuff under the trust.
Thank you very much.